So anyway, video cut out on me, but without getting too much more into my personal life with the divorce that I don't want. I don't want. Um, and then this candidacy for mayor that looked like it never was, that soon will be proven to be nothing short of a miracle from God. Um, that brilliantly by him happens to have been documented and recorded. Like, I didn't know what I was signing up for when I started doing this kind of stuff. I didn't know what it was when he said, I have an assignment for you and I want to know if you accept or not. It's like, well, what's the assignment? I'm not going to tell you right now. It's like, okay, what am I signing up for? You know, you don't know. You don't know. So it's been a hell of a ride. It's been a hell of a year, I know that. But what the hell? Heaven has literally come down. And it's been present the whole time. Now I can focus on the depression, the confusion. Talk about confusion, okay? You want to talk about confusion? How are you going to go get sent to a state you don't want to go? And then you got to go do something like go to a island you don't really want to go to, and then run for a position that you didn't really want to run for. You know, I'm just trying to relate because I can get very wrapped up in my feelings as to feeling inadequate, feeling confused, feeling all these things very real, but it's not relevant to what it is that he's telling me to do. So this whole year-long process of isolation and being in his word and just being desperate to know, God, what do you have me here for? What are you doing to me? You know, it serves a purpose, but at the time it's just very confusing. But I can't stay there. I can't stay in that, you know. You can get confused, you can get angry when different ones go and out of concern sometimes, but then after a certain point it's like, no, you're choosing to disrespect, you're choosing to slander, you're choosing this. It started out as concern. It's the same thing with me and being righteously angry in certain instances. If I stay in that, that's gonna morph into bitterness. You know, you can have a righteous cause, but stuff gets perverted. It gets twisted. So I can't stay in these feelings. They're real, but they're not relevant. So to step into a position very shortly, December 3rd, December 4th, whatever the day happens to be, it's a Thursday, that's all I really know. And that I'm waiting for proof, if you will. And even with that, it's like, you know what, I can't look for validation from anyone else. You would hope for a relief from this season of life, but even this, you know, it's the chrysalis stage, okay? That's what it is. I feel like a worm. Currently I'm a caterpillar turning into a butterfly, you know? I can fly, alright? Soon too, anyway. So I'm out the chrysalis, spreading my wings, feeling myself a little bit too much, maybe. I don't know, maybe. But, you know, I don't know this side of me. This isn't who I am, or this wasn't who I was. So, and whoever you happen to be, whenever this happens to be public, it's like there's a version of you, whoever you are, man or woman, there's a version of you that God destined for you to be. And through whatever stage, the caterpillar, the butterfly, the just the egg. There's a scientific term for that, and I don't remember it. I used to at one time, freaking homeschooling the Nussborn books, but I used to know what those things, well, there's different types of butterfly. Anyway, I'm getting off, but getting off topic. That's what I meant to say. I'm not into butterflies like that. Okay, shut up. Anyway, there's a version of you. If I can stay on point. There's a version of you, and God loves you throughout the whole process, okay? Just as much as when you're a butterfly as when you were a caterpillar, or when you were in the egg, kind of what I'm getting to. He loves you throughout the process. You are his creation. He loves you, okay? He wants you to become what it is that he made you to be, and not to just stay amongst the worms and not realize that you're a caterpillar in transition too. Talk about perverted. That word has been perverted, like transition. There ain't no 600 genders, okay? People are putting themselves in position of God and thinking that they get to dictate biology. Anyway, there's two. Ain't no 600 genders. But in being a butterfly in the early stages of still being a caterpillar and you're dealing with worms, some people are called to different things. That's what it comes down to. You have the parable of the guy with one talent, you have the parable, well, it's the same parable, but you have the guy with one talent, you have the guy with 5 talents, you have the guy with 10 talents. What are you going to do with the 10 talents you've been given, or the 5 or the 1? You can have 10 talents, and you can double at one time. You can have done that in your early 20s and accomplished what you thought was a great feat. Or you can be the guy that has one talent that goes and doubles it every month for the rest of his life. Who's going to have more at the end of his life? Okay? You may start out with less, and if you go and subject is what you would say, submit yourself to God, which is actually you're promoting yourself, believe it or not. Or you're not promoting yourself, you're putting yourself in, you're throwing your resume in for promotion. Because God actually wants to use you, He wants to exalt you. Because when, not for your sake, but it's for His sake, but in the process you also get exalted. But that's not supposed to be the reason why you go into it. Not for you. I think over this past year, not knowing what this assignment was that He had me here for, He set me up. He set me up. And it felt at different times like I was being set up for the biggest embarrassment of my life, and thinking that I heard wrong. Okay, that's where I've largely been. It's not that I blamed God, or it's not that I wanted to exalt myself. It's that I thought I had stepped into hearing wrong, and was doing things where I inadvertently was trying to, like, you question your motive, and that's what Satan does. Is he's going to question your motive, as God will purify your heart. Okay, but Satan is the accuser of the brethren. He's going to come after you. All right. So you have that duality. God is purifying your heart, and then you have Satan that's accusing you the entire time of why you do what you do, judging you, shaming you, all those different things. But for me, when I entered into this, it's like I don't know what I'm doing, but God helped me to just get to the point where you have me in position, and humble me to the point where I'm just doing what you want me to, and whatever else is happening along the way to have me be fine with that, and when you get called into a position that would seem as exaltation, because it's a promotion, but it's like, what, I didn't know that going into it. I didn't know God had a plan like this for me, and that'll be seen in time. But that's not why you do it. And like the conviction I got tonight was, when you're looking for the report, you're looking for the news story that's going to break the news. Hey, the guy that got the election isn't actually going to get the position. Something like that, You're looking for that kind of stuff, or you're going to prophecy because you need it, but at the same time, if you only have that, then it's not actually growing your faith to a certain extent. It's helping in different ways, but you're going to that. You're not going to God. You're not having relation with Him. You're not being intimate and seeking Him for who He is. You're seeking these things for confirmation, possibly, of all this other stuff that you, in devotion to God, initially went to Him in. But it can morph into something else as well. And it's just this constant not knowing after you learn something. And it's this journey. It is quite literally that, and that's kind of a word that you would make fun of somebody for, or at least I would in a different time of my life, of, especially a guy, you're on a journey. It's like, all right, dude, go eat your kale cake and tofu and whatever else. But it is a journey, it's a walk, it's a daily thing, okay? Just because you accept God into your heart doesn't mean you just sit there. He calls you into something. There's blessings when you're standing in the location in obedience to what he told you to do yesterday. Okay? Possibly you're late in getting there. You're disobedient. You know, if you're partially obedient, it's still disobedient. If you're late in getting there, it's still disobedient. You know? And at what point that cancels out something else or some blessing, I don't know. But I know that he has me basically, I feel like I'm bumping, or not bumping, I'm bowling, and he has bumpers up, you know? Because I don't know what I'm doing. And the lowest I've ever scored on a game of bowling without bumpers is like 26. That's terrible. So I need bumpers, okay? And he has me going down the lane, and I feel like I would use a boxing reference, but it wouldn't make sense. But I'm just going back and forth, okay? And the boxing reference was, I feel like a speed bag. It's kind of what it's like. I'm not even going down the lane. I just feel like I'm bumping back and forth, and I'm just getting my belt wrong. But anyway, it's interesting at the least when he gives you promises saying, I want you to be a mayor. You're going to be one in 8 years. And when I went to Mauna Kea, he told me then. He was telling me stuff like president. And I'm like, what is that? President of what? The Rotary Club? What president of what? Because you can't be president in the United States. He called me into ministry 14 years ago. That's what I was running from. So when I'm going to Mauna Kea, he starts talking about you're going to be an advisor to a governor. So when I first got back home, I'm thinking, okay, ministry. That's what you told me. You said leadership and you said ministry. And then online ministry. So like you, I thought ministry, leadership in ministry, and then online ministry. Okay, so that's what this is, online ministry. That's why I post videos, sermons, different things that have helped me sustain, not help me, that have sustained me and helped me through this last year of what would seem like randomness, until it starts to make sense and he starts drawing the strings, and it's like, okay, that's what you're doing, you know? But for me, trying to explain this to everyone else, is like, all right, I got yarn all over this wall right here. It looks like a crime scene. I'm trying to draw, you know, not comparisons, but trying to, at certain times, convince people. And then it's like, okay, that's a lost cause, you know, because you have a divorce. And you start talking about how you have on one whole side of your head pressure from trauma of a divorce early on. And it's like, okay, this guy's just losing his mind. He's going to states, jumping on airplanes, buying tickets, you know, 5 hours before the flight takes off, the day of. You know, he's losing his mind. That's what it looks like. But it's this journey, it's this relationship that's being cultivated and grown between me and God in the meantime. And it's exciting in the meantime. Can't even talk. It's exciting. It is. But you don't know what you're in for. It's kind of what I'm getting at. But here's what he told me.